Hello everybody, Richard here again. Let's get back to the story. Let's sit in that circle on the grass and wait for the storyteller. He comes, somehow he's full of energy. He sits down and he looks at them all and says, let's get back to that valley. At the end of the valley, the ocean and a tower. Inside that tower, a giant and a giantess. And in front of them, the cat, the princess, the ash boy. And the giant is scared of mice. Oh, he says, please do something. Of course they're going to do something, says the giantess. They're wise ones, didn't I tell you? They're wandering through the world. And the princess says, if we solve your problem, will you take us home? Oh, anything. Just do something. And now, the princess, the ash boy and the cat are like a well-oiled machine. They turn and they leave that beautiful sunlit conservatory and they walk back into that huge room with the furniture so tall they can walk straight underneath it. And the cat is looking around. Over here, he says. And he pads rapidly towards a little corner where there's a hole in the wainscot. The ash boy kneels down and holds on to the cat because it's quivering, its eyes are wild. They're there. And the princess kneels down by the hole in the wainscot and she says, I did study the language of mice among all the languages. I'll see what I can do. She kneels closer and bends down towards the hole in the wainscot and she calls out in mouse language. Mice, can you hear me? There's a sudden scurrying behind the wainscot. Mice, I'm a friend of yours. The scurrying stops. There's whispering, and then a voice calls out from the other side. Who are you? Mice, says the princess. Why are you here? More whispering, and the same voice calls out. We swam to shore from the wreckage of ships. This is a good place for us. But mice, says the princess, don't you know there's a whole world outside this tower? The cat is still staring with his eyes bulging, and the ash boy is holding on to the cat, and the princess puts her hand close to the wainscot, and a little nose pokes out. It twitches, whiskers, and then a head, pink ears, bright beady eyes. And the princess says, I'll show you. Now there's more whispering and the head goes back inside. Don't go there, don't you know what happened to the fox when it stood outside the lion's cave? No, what do you mean? Voices continued, and the princess waited. Well, said one of those voices, there was an old lion inside a cave, and there was a fox walking past, and the lion called out, come into my cave, friend fox. But when the fox looked at the dust on the ground, he laughed, and he said, you know what I see? I see footprints going into your cave, but I don't see footprints coming out. So if you don't mind, I'll walk on. There, you see, said one of the voices. You should walk on too. Well, not walk on, you should stay here. But the first voice says, we never got anywhere without daring. We are mice. We dare anywhere. That's our motto, is it? And the face returned, the little beady eyes, the twitching nose, and he looked up at the princess and said, "Show me." The princess held out her hand again, and the mouse jumped onto it with its curving tail, its little feet, and she lifted it up and said, "Keep that cat away," and walked towards the door. "Oh," said the giantess, "I do hope you know what you're doing." And she opened the door, and the princess went outside and held her hand up so that the mouse could see everything. And she said, "Mouse, do you see? There's a whole valley there with water, with trees, with fruit. You can make your life here." And the mouse smiled, a sort of mousy sort of smile. Lifting its little head, it called out, "Fellow mice, I have led you this far. Now let me lead you to a land of plenty." And at that call, mice began to come out of the hole in the wainscot. Grey mice and black mice and white mice and brown mice. And they carried with them their little mouse luggage, things, knickknacks, pins, bronze coins on their backs, bits of straw, little folds of cloth, buttons. And they began to walk out of the house. The mouse on the princess's hand looked down at them and said, "There, I have brought you to a land where you can live for generations." And the other mice looked up and walked on, out into the valley, out to live on the valley floor. No longer poor, drawing on nature's store. Out they went, all of them, until the giantess closed the door. She said, "Well, you don't see that every day." And the mouse in the princess's hand looked up at her and said, "You don't mind me asking, where are you going? And who are you? You speak our language very well." The princess said, "Well, thank you. We're trying to go home." And the mouse said, "Well, I'm a wanderer myself. Can I come with you?" Its eyes were shining so brightly. Its tail was curving so much. The princess nodded, placed the mouse into her pocket. And the ash boy picked up the cat in his arms. The cat looked around. "Ooh," he said. "Ooh," he said. And the giantess shouted out, "Oi, come in here. They've all gone." And the giant walked in, looked around. "I want to see. They're out there. Go and have a look." He went to the door, opened it. "They're all going over there. They're leaving. They're not coming back." "There," she said. "Just a fuss about nothing, wasn't it? But now," said the giantess, "a promise is a promise." The giant turned back. "Oh, yes," he said. "Where do you want to go? Mood I'm in, I could take you halfway across the earth, if that's where you want to go." The princess said, looking at the cat and the ash boy, "Take us to the city of wonders." The giant nodded. "Very well," he said. "I shall." "Yes," said the storyteller. "He will. And if you want to know what happened after that, meet me here tomorrow. And the same goes for me. If you want to find out what happened next, meet me here tomorrow. So until then, goodbye.